8 games to go. Both teams, I think, have a couple finals coming up now in the run-in, Kaz. For Arsenal, they were the big winners last time out because they managed to win and then the teams around them dropped points. And then I think in midweek they showed once again there is a real resilience to the side.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely backed them at midweek. And I was like, I very rarely, really go big, and I was uber confident. And I was like, oh no, as a pundit, I've given it the curse. But for Arsenal, I know I mentioned they didn't play particularly well midweek against Leverkusen, but I think credit to them to go away in Europe, get a result, and not have played particularly well. I want to still be uber confident that they'll go back and win at home. But yeah, they need a response. I thought they looked tired over there, and they shouldn't have been because, you know, a lot of the players were rested from the FA Cup. So that was interesting. But, you know, this is going to be another big test from against Everton, who are, as we know, very good away from home. But I still think Arsenal need that little bit of a response, bit of energy and a bit of spark, particularly at home.
There's also a psychological aspect to this game in that they play before City, which hasn't been happening the last few weeks. And every time they've had an opportunity to increase the gap, think about the Liverpool game, for example, or the Brentford game, or against Wolves, they haven't taken it. So this is another chance.
It is a big chance, and they'll have to be on their game because Everton have, I think they've won 5 of their last 6 away from home. Only Arsenal got a better record away from home. But it massively in Arsenal's favour is the fact that David Moyes has only won one of his last 20 games at Arsenal as a manager.
Hope he's not listening.
Yeah, exactly. Probably turned it off there. And Everton have won once at Arsenal in 30 years in the league. It's just an incredible stat. It's the stat of the weekend. And I can't see that changing tomorrow because of all the reasons you said. There's been 1 or 2 players who were rested in midweek for this. Because I think if you were to ask the average Arsenal fan, what would you rather win, the Champions League or the Premier League? The Premier League is that holy grail, and I think Arteta will want his men primed and ready for this game. I think it'll be attritional, but I just think in this war, as you were saying, it will be Arteta who will want to strike first, build that cushion and put the pressure, the scoreboard pressure, as they say, on City and Guardiola.
Yeah, Arsenal 7 points clear, could increase that lead if they manage to beat Everton because, of course, City play later on Saturday. The criticism, Kaz, of this Arsenal team, who are currently leading the Premier League, to me, I can't understand it. It seems pretty wild, and it's coming from all directions. What do you make of it?
I think they're efficient. I think they're functional and effective. And every other team in football, in the Premier League, has an opportunity to treat set pieces in particular the way that Arsenal did. And you saw actually midweek, if you saw against Leverkusen, they did the same to Arsenal. A kick-off and a set piece. They took it serious, and it got them, a 1-1 result. But I can't knock them. They're physical. They eliminate risk. If you look about the stats over the last number of years, how many goals have been conceded on transitions, that's why they tighten up. They don't play risk football. They're risk averse, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've seen managers like Jose Mourinho do it of past and not be criticised. I think when Arsenal, if and when Arsenal win their first trophy, I think all that will go away. I think it's because they haven't won in a while, and I think that's the narrative. But I'm not going to knock it because I think it's effective.
I'm with you, Kaz. I think it's the biggest load of confected nonsense I've heard for ages, honestly. And I'm quite strident with that because football is about winning. Yeah, it's about finding a way to win. These are impressive numbers. For the last 2 seasons, they've been disciplined, they've been focused, and they've got those marginal gains. Some teams see set pieces as just an opportunity to get balls into the box. Arsenal see it as an opportunity to score. What's wrong with that?
I'd also say defend them better. Some of the defending in the Premier League against Arsenal has been shocking. I'd also say don't be so lazy, stop giving them away. Because as footballers, you're told to sort your body position out, to not give corners away. When you're trying to block a shot, if you turn your body shape, it goes out for a throw-in, not a corner. They're the little details that I think you're hammering Arsenal, but actually hammering a defending team. Defend, don't give them away. Don't give away set pieces.
If you're able to score from set pieces, right? Football is just about winning. You win an FA Cup final, a Champions League final, the league by a single goal. Nobody cares how you play. You get marks for artistic impression in dancing competitions.
I didn't get them. I I didn't get them. I didn't get them. I don't know what marks I did get, but I didn't get them.
No, but in all seriousness, I think that as far as Arsenal fans are concerned, if they were to get over the line at the end of the season, they will not care how they played, and rightly so.
Yeah.
The idea that we're getting sucked into this debate as there has to be a way of playing that is palatable to the neutral or the fact. Honestly, I'm not there for it.
Well, Arsenal played that way for many years and haven't won the Premier League.
Absolutely. They celebrate it under George Graham, 1-0 to the Arsenal. They celebrate that from the 90s, and suddenly it's become a thing that if you score a goal from a free kick, a set piece or a corner, you're not, as you were saying, efficient, disciplined, focused, researched, and able to find the weaknesses of the opposition team. It's lazy of the teams that can't defend it, and it's lazy of the people who criticise them as well.
Let's talk about their opponents this weekend. Everton, you both have said that it is going to be a difficult one, despite Everton's recent record against Arsenal away. When they met earlier on in the season, it was a very close game. It was a penalty that separated the two. Arsenal left there with all 3 points, but by a single goal. This time around, Everton are also fighting. They're in the fight for Europe. And you know, they want to get that. It would be a remarkable turnaround from the last few seasons.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. The narrative we've been speaking about Everton to be, you know, talking in relegation battles the last few seasons, haven't we? Now to be going, actually, go on, you can see European football potentially. Go and try and grab it, and everyone else has got other distractions around them. And, you know, I could credit a lot of people. I credit David Moyes. He's unbelievable. What a guy, what a manager, and what he's done. And look at them now, 8th. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of clubs ahead of him that have got other different priorities. And maybe because of how we are in Europe, there might be more potential opportunities for European places. Was it how is it called? The coalition or whatever it's called?
The coefficient.
Coefficient, sorry. Apologies. And so, yeah, you might get an opportunity to be in Europe. Yeah. So, yeah, I think David Moyes done an unbelievable job.
Yeah, just a reminder for people in case they've forgotten, 15th 2 seasons ago, 13th last time out, currently 8th in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's a fantastic job that they've done. He's gone back there. I'm particularly pleased for him because lots of people felt there was a period in his own career where lots of people felt maybe that was it for him. But he's gone to West Ham. He's obviously won them their first trophy in decades. And then he goes to Everton, takes them into the Hill Dickinson and gets them competitive straight away. To be able to get European football in the first season at that new stadium would be an outstanding achievement.
Yeah, just looking at Everton's last couple of results, we know that they've got back-to-back victories after losing 2 in a row. And keeping a clean sheet against Burnley was also very important.
So it's really good that it's going into this game. It's quite interesting because Arsenal have the most goals from set pieces. Everton have conceded the fewest number of goals from set pieces. So it's going to be a real chess game, this one. I can see it being a draw.
Predictions coming up.
That's later.
Later on.
He'll come to it and he'll change his mind.
Of course he will.
He'll change his mind.
He's just messing with us. All right, it is time now to focus on some of the other games coming up of the... Yeah, when we look at the fixtures on the show every week and try and work out who's going to drop points where do we see it? City and Forest is not a match I thought City were going to drop points in. Were you as surprised?
Yeah, I was very surprised because I would have imagined that they would get the job done, but they have lost so many points so far this season in the second half. And they've just not been able to close out games. And we saw how ruthlessly that can be exposed in this game and then subsequently in the Real Madrid game. The goalkeeper's world class. The defenders are top class, but not world class. And they just seem to have a mistake in them in every game. And it's for that reason that I want to say that City will go to the London Stadium and win. The stats suggest that they will. 20 games West Ham have failed to win against them, none again at the London Stadium of their last 9. But it will give you a chance. And that West Ham forward line, they've got the bit between their teeth at the moment. This could be a little bit of a fight to the finish. It's
a tougher fixture, this, than it was perhaps 2 or 3 months ago, isn't it? Given West Ham's current form.
Oh, West Ham, it took him a little bit of time, the manager, Nuno, but he's got it right and he's got them defensively more solid, harder to beat. Obviously, we speak about the 2 wide players. I know some of them might not be available. but it took the pressure off Jared Bowen. I felt there was a lot of pressure then, but obviously they've balanced it out. Strikers come in, have done a job, they've been physical, they've been a nuisance, a presence, and adapted really, really well. And they're crawling their way out of it. Fernandes, for me, is an unbelievable midfielder. I think, you know, God forbid they went down, there'd be a lot of big clubs sniffing after him, because he's a talented player, honestly, really good. But credit to Nuno, and that's why you pick an experienced manager when things are a little bit rough. And they've started to play some really good football. So it's not an ideal time for City to play them, and they're looking up. But we'll have to see what they are like without Somerville, because he's been their main guy.
Yeah.
So actually, that's quite timely, because this goal that Somerville scores is the reason why he'll be a big miss. He's just got that trickery, his ability to drop his shoulder, go past the defender and score the decisive goal in a crucial game. Yeah, there's a lot of red in this graphic that we're seeing here, but I think as far as West Ham are concerned, they've stabilised, and Kaz made such an important point. When West Ham lost to, I think it was Chelsea, they were 2-0 up and they lost the game, and lots of people felt that was it. That was it. They thought they was as dead as fried chicken. And as far as West Ham were concerned, Nuno gave a series of press conferences where he was very calm. He didn't allow himself to get carried away. He wasn't in the press conference hammering the players, hammering the club, talking about weak mentalities or anything like that, even though he might have thought it. The messaging in press conferences, take it from the media man, it's all important.
Yeah.
You're giving people back pages, otherwise if you go in the press conference and you hammer people, even if you think you're just telling it like it is. Nuno has got them competitive because he struck the right tone. Tudor is going to take that club down because he hasn't.
Then just for City, obviously 7 points behind after dropping points against Forest, but they still have that game in hand, and they still play Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I mean, talk about roller coaster. 1 minute we were like, oh, they could do it again, and then again the consistency over the last week or two has been like, wow. But great for the neutral, because the title race, you know, it's been great. But from a City fan, you're thinking, you know, these are their next fixtures, like big. You know, are you going to bounce back against Madrid? To be fair, under Pep Guardiola, I don't think you can ever not rule them out. No. It would be a miracle, granted, but he's the main guy. And then obviously the League Cup final, FA Cup Liverpool, like it is a massive. Not next 8, next 5 are huge. So
and then if they beat Real Madrid somehow and they pull off the comeback, there'll still be a game in between potentially against Bayern Munich, I think.
Exactly. So thankfully as a neutral, there's a lot to talk about, and it's exciting. But probably for a City fan, you're like,
the roller coaster.
Yeah.
They'd like it to be a little bit more straightforward. Now we are going to move
on. The UEFA
on.
Champions League clash between Bayer 04 Leverkusen and Arsenal FC delivered last-minute drama as Kai Havertz struck a late equalizer to deny the Gunners a crucial away win. Arsenal had controlled large portions of the match, but Havertz's strike reminded everyone why Leverkusen are always dangerous in Europe. Fans were left on the edge of their seats as the game ended 1-1, keeping the tension alive for the next leg. Soccer ball fire. Mikel Arteta was visibly animated after the final whistle, praising his side for their effort but clearly frustrated by conceding so late. His reaction showed how much the result meant to Arsenal, as they continued to fight for European glory. Arteta highlighted his players' determination and resilience, insisting that moments like these are part of building a team capable of competing at the highest level. Pundit Thierry Henry also weighed in on the thrilling encounter. Henry praised both teams for their attacking intent and tactical awareness but emphasized how Havertz's composure under pressure made the difference. The discussion highlighted the drama, skill, and intensity of Champions League football, leaving fans buzzing about Arsenal's performance and the potential for redemption in their next European fixture.